piece was made of the opposition, it would be classed as a hate crime, and arrests would be made. Now, as of right now, we have no idea how long the I can't even using these unintended puns. We don't know how long the 6,000-pound statue, which is about 3,000-ish kg, took to build. Who is spending... I wouldn't imagine it was a quick build, you know? So you're spending a lot of time on this thing, but it is believed that it is going to try and remain there for everyone to see all the way until November.
Are you serious? You think this is funny? You think this is funny? Like, this really shows how demonic Americans are, bro. This really shows how demonic Americans are, bro. I would never take a picture of that. What's so funny about it? What's so funny about it? It's disgusting and disrespectful at the same freaking time. Donald Trump should sue the one who did the statue and the one who put it there. He should sue them. Fucking disgusting.
Now, this is where things get tricky. Because should it be taken down or not? Is it just a harmless art piece that it starts important conversations we need to be having? Or is it just an unnecessary mockery disguised and labeled as an art piece? On one side, and here's the thing that I first thought when I saw this, you know, no matter whether you love this or you hate this, it is a reminder how much freedom we have in the West. If a statue like this was created of the presidents, of Russia, North Korea...
Well, I'll say this. You will have the freedom, but you will not keep your freedom when it comes to that statue. I'm pretty sure, like, my point is this, like, I'm pretty sure if Donald Trump becomes president, I'm pretty sure he's gonna take it away. Because it's disrespectful as shit. You can't do that. Do better, Americans.
Korea, China, Iran, execution. Immediately. No doubt about it.
And it's not funny.
Fair enough. What we do with that freedom, it's another discussion. Building giant naked statues of Donald Trump. It's not the first thing that comes to my mind.
Bro. Don't laugh.
Nonetheless, we're allowed to. So ultimately, what do you guys think? Leave it up because people should be allowed their freedom of expression and freedom of art? Or take it down because it's inappropriate and literal kids driving along the highway with their families will probably see it.
Donald Trump wakes up thinking about himself, how to enrich himself and his billionaire friends, stay out of jail, and give himself more power. Kamala Harris will work across the aisle and fight for a future that's not just about getting by, but getting ahead.
Damn, Kamala's paying for ads.
What do you
Damn.
A planet surrounded by stars and asteroids and the wondrous...
Pizza? Whatever your vision. LTX Studios.
I'm not gonna get convinced. Get the fuck out of here.
Yes. Anyway, let me know in the comments and let's swiftly move the hell on. Okay, now, however bad you thought the damage was from Hurricane Helene, it's probably worse. I'm not even kidding. As this thing was arriving, they were warning this could trigger storm surges up to 20 feet. And this, what you're seeing right now, that's 15 foot, right? And Alex is really emphasizing,
wow,
15 foot is ridiculous. But, reminder, it's Florida. And they're crazy over there because you had people making sure as this thing was arriving, she knew which country Helene was about to enter. You had people driving through the streets and over bridges like it was just a little drizzle. People going on their evening jogs in a Category 4 hurricane. Hurricane? Hurricane? But actually, no. Hurricane. Maybe that's just a English, British, American difference in pronunciation, or it's just me being weird. Oh, and for those who refused the mandatory evacuations, well, they were just going on live on TikTok, sitting in a kayak in their living room. Florida, huh? The Tampa General Hospital successfully used an aquafence to hold back the rising waters. That's pretty damn cool. The International Space Station flew over the storm as it was approaching the Gulf Coast of Florida, showing what the freaking country was about to be battered with. And battered they were. Helene hit as a Category 4 hurricane, the most powerful on record to hit Florida's Big Bend. It then moved on into Georgia, smashed through South and now North Carolina, and then finally ended in Tennessee. Yes, that is where the Talk to Us servers are located.
Fuck her, she's demonic as well, bro.
People have passed away, 30 of which were in North Carolina alone. Thousands of people have been left homeless, millions are without power, and the people in Georgia are expected to only get their power back on the 5th of October. Not even in this month. Oh, and insurance companies are cooked because the Financial Times reports that property damage alone, not even considering all of the other stuff, $26 billion. Eerie, apocalyptic-looking footage shows boats lining the streets while cars lined the beaches. Bridges collapsed, docks were destroyed, dams were at their absolute breaking point, there were massive landslides. Stone Cold Steve Austin couldn't even drink his beer. And in Asheville, North Carolina, experts called it a 1-in-1,000-year event. To give you a perspective of how much water they had, their French Broad River hadn't been this full since 1916, 100 years ago. Over 100 years ago. Oh, and if your house survived the water, well, let it fight fire. Because batteries in electric cars submerged in salt water, in particular, the kryptonite, batteries, kryptonite in salt water apparently, that was causing them to release hydrogen gas and heat, which was resulting in fires, as you're seeing right now. Now, thankfully, Helene has since turned into a post-tropical cyclone, and it's like it's a great thing. Oh, thank God, post-tropical no, it's all cooked. But Helene is expected to continue to downgrade and just wish away into forget and I don't know. But honestly, seeing some of the damage that this thing has done, like there are many cities that are going to be recovering from this thing for months to come. Honestly, I would love to move to America someday, but the thought of a storm coming through and completely resetting your life, that's a deal breaker.
I think he lives in London. I think he does.
Anyway, thoughts are for everyone that was affected, and let us move on. This is a wild thing that I didn't expect to happen this week. Multiple people have been arrested after the infamous suicide pod was actually used for the first time in a Swiss forest. This gets weird, I promise. Now, while assisted dying is legally protected in some circumstances in Switzerland, the sarcopod is technically not a medical device, therefore not regulated and not legal. The current method that they use in Switzerland is to provide the person with a series of liquids that, if ingested, ends the person's life. But that is where this pod was supposed to come in. It's a completely 3D printed capsule that can be solely operated by the person inside without medical supervision. It can be placed absolutely anywhere, hence why they found it in the forest, and it works by flooding the capsule with nitrogen, reducing oxygen levels and rapidly causing death within about 10 minutes. Now, there has been a big push for this to become legal, with people arguing that, if you're gonna die, this is a much better way of going out. You could be alone in some scenic place of your choosing, not in some crowded hospital. And some people also argue that the gas is a far more peaceful way of dying as well. I'm not too sure about that, but that's what they argue. And you gotta understand, this thing has been highly controversial for a while now, and most people thought that it would never get approval. So you can imagine the shock when news broke that someone used it without any legal approval. Police say that they recovered this device and the body of a 64-year-old American woman in a forest, calling it the first case of its kind. Now, following the woman's death, several people were arrested on suspicion of incitement or accessory to suicide. Now, we still don't know whether these people will be prosecuted or not, but the question is, if assisted dying is already legal in the country, should the sarcopod be legal or not? Let me know. Moving on. Okay, let's talk about it, because this is criminal that Mr. Beast doesn't know what these two guys are doing right now. Be ready for your jaw to drop, because they are only 1 day away from saying the word Mr. Beast 3 million times on live stream. They're currently at 2,961,555. What the fuck?
Corn casserole.
For perspective, the infamous video where Mr. Beast said Logan Paul 100,000 times, that took him 17 hours and about 6 minutes. These guys have been streaming since July. I'm not even kidding. They are on their 78th day of doing this. They've been saying Mr. Beast so long that when they started, there was no such thing as the Mr. Beast controversy. That's wild. And honestly, I have a special appreciation for this, because for all of the OGs that will remember, I once did a long-ass stream like this myself, because I locked myself in and said, I will not leave. I leaked my number to all of my audience, and I said, I will not leave until one person that calls me is KSI. And I did do this stream non-stop for about 17 plus hours until the following morning when I, did it. He actually called, and it was all worth it, but boy, it was tough. And I didn't even do 24 hours. These guys have been streaming for months, and they've literally got all of their lives in their YouTube history, because they've made sure to stop and then start their live every 12 hours, so it archives. So every moment of their last a few months is recorded. Now here is the criminal part, because despite the countless mind-numbing hours and just brutalness, not only has Mr. Beast not noticed, but after all of this, they still only had 59 followers on TikTok, around 6,000 subscribers on YouTube, and sometimes they're on this stream with about 3 viewers in the chat at the end of almost at 3 million. And the only reason I freaking found out about them is because one of you guys messaged me, and so I searched them up and I was like, there is no freaking way they've been doing it for this long and they they haven't got anything back for it. So I was like,
I can't believe it too.
This cannot happen. So I decided to make a video about it on my TikTok video for their big 3 million, and woo, you guys turned out. At the time of recording this, that video has about 10 million views. They went from 59 followers to 140,000 overnight.
Oh
they went from
my
about
God.
10 to 15 viewers while they were streaming to over 6,000. Gideon saw their video apparently and donated. And the most important part about all of this, they actually completed saying it 3 million times to a crowd of thousands of people cheering them on. That is the way to complete this challenge. Imagine hitting 3 million after months of doing this, and there's like 10 people on the chat. That would be the most heartbreaking thing, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Man, honestly, it is insane how life works sometimes. The chances of this were so slim. Like, I randomly checked my messages at like 5:30 in the morning before the gym with my groggy, tired eyes, which I normally never do. And what are the chances that I saw that the exact day that they were about to hit the 3 million? I mean, just imagine, I was even one day late. They would have maybe even finished it off with only 10, 15 viewers. I mean, Mr. Beast hasn't seen this yet as a recording, but who knows? Maybe by the next video that I post, he will have. But one thing is for absolute certain. If you forget to like this video, you will end up like today's 3 random
I did.
sacrificial lambs.
I did like this video, right? Yeah, I did. Thank God. Whatever.
That'll get even put on the whip.
Whooping.
Like the video.
Whoop them, bro. Whoop those retards, bro. Whoop them up. Exactly. They deserve it.
Kamala Harris stands
They
unequivocally
fucking deserve it,
Israel.
bro.
She always has, and as president, she always.
They fucking deserve it. They deserve it.
Alright, let's move on and let's talk about it. Scientists are trying to refreeze the ocean, and our lives may depend on it. You see, this week, a team of researchers from the United Kingdom have just finished up trials on doing exactly this in the Canadian Arctic. Shout out Alex. And it's all because they are desperately trying to stop a potentially catastrophic incident called a blue ocean event. Essentially, that's when there is no ice during the summer in the Arctic, and experts predict that a blue ocean event could happen as soon as the 2030s, which would make it the first time in 2 million years. Thanks, guys. You have left us with a really fun planet, our poor generation. We're gonna get, hey, at least news. I am gonna have an overflowing of news starting in the 2030s, just onwards. Every day you turn out and be like, hey, so we just lost this country, that country, that country. They are all like submerged and burnt and whatever else. The world lifts at them. You see, sea ice acts as kind of like a giant reflective shield for the planet. So when that ice disappears, the dark ocean will start over.
Yo, whoever make this, like, whoever said that Earth is flat is literally a retard. There's scientific evidence that Earth is not flat, it's a sphere. Have you ever seen, okay, this is the ball, right? This is the ball, this is the front that you see. But when you go on the back, you see this. So Earth is not flat. Like fucking, I hate flat earthers, bro. This is not flat just because you see it the other way. But when you turn around, you will see the other atmosphere. It's not flat, guys.
Absorbing all of this
It's
extra
sphere.
heat.
It's
And
a
so instead
sphere.
of cooling the planet, the Arctic will start
You
to
see what I
heat
mean?
up even faster, like turning up the thermostat. Scientists believe that this would mess up weather patterns around the world. What did I tell you? More heat waves, crazier storms. Do not tell Florida they've been.
It's in our religion, by the way. The reason why there's storms, Muslims, we know why there's storms. It's in the Quran. It's in our religion, by the way.
enough, and even random cold snaps in strange places. Snowing in the desert. Plus, as we've spoken about before on this channel, the melting sea ice could also speed up thawing of permafrost and the organisms frozen inside. Do not worry, the scientists doing all of this work, refreezing the oceans, they say that this is not geoengineering, aka weather manipulation. They say that rather, they are in the field of geomimicry. Very different thing. They said, we do not spread chemicals or create anything that nature hasn't created before. So the real question is, who's ready for the 2030s? You know what I think it's really time for? Rapid fire news. Haiti's transitional president went viral this week after he, instead of pouring the water into a glass, he tried to drink it directly out of the pitcher and ended up spilling it everywhere. Now this happened during his speech at the United Nations.
That's crazy. Like, just for one clip, like, something that you didn't see can literally make you famous. It's crazy to me. Like, I don't get it. Like, what's so famous about it? He's just drinking a bottle.
General
or like a cup of gallon.
With all of the world leaders, eyes on him doing this. And boy, it triggered a lot of memes online. But I mean, that's the
A meme? This become a meme? No way.
Risk that you take with power moves like that. Pull it off, and boy, the entire United Nations is cowering under your skibbity sigma aura. Mess it up though, and you will become the laughing stock.
So they call them skibbity, and they call them sigma, and they call that aura. My opinion, I would never say that. I think that everyone who said that is dumb and stupid. Because that's not aura, guys. Like, to me, that's not aura. Aura is like a definition of something that you do good and like trying to achieve it as it is. The thing that I notice about like the aura road is that like I feel like it's getting popular and popular and popular since the first time that I've heard it, which was like last year. Aura in Arabic, it means aura. Cover your aura. Aura. That means like cover your clothes. But now the Americans are trying to make it as like something big. It's literally insane to me.
Brutal internet. But high risk, high reward, and I don't hate that. Next. Urgent evacuations are underway after a fire broke out at a chemical plant called Biolab in Conyers in Georgia. The state, not the country. Of course, the state, America, which resulted in huge clouds of chemical smoke that were visible from miles away. It was so serious that local officials told everyone in Rockdale County to evacuate because of the dangerous chemicals being released. Damn, it's made its way over here. I have to wash it down with some chemical-free prime. And how's this for ironic? Because the fire itself, guess what? It was started by a malfunctioning sprinkler that reacted with water-sensitive chemicals on the roof of the plant. A sprinkler causing a fire. Oh, how dare you? I swear that I had that voice in the back of my head. You've become the very thing you set out to destroy. Is that a meme? Something like that. You have become the very thing you swore to destroy. Don't lecture me, Obi-Wan. The little things that we keep in the back of our heads, eh? And while they've now got the fire under control, more than 17,000 people have been told stay away or stay in homes indefinitely, because the smoke is expected to remain in the air for a few days, and apparently they found chlorine in it, so not ideal. Next. Using Face ID at war could get you killed, and here's why. You can't see it, but when unlocking your phone, it shines about 30,000 little infrared dots on your face to detect it. And Falcon Clutch has recently made a video showing how they would see someone from 300 meters away unlocking their phone or using night mode photo. Oh, and they also used night vision to see someone vaping from 200 meters away. So basically, no phones or vaping at war. If our generations get, drafted in World War III, absolutely cooked. No chance. Twinkle, twinkle, next. Oh, you couldn't see my hands. That must have been weird. Remember when we spoke about the UK having to release prisoners early because they simply don't have enough space in their prisons? As if that wasn't controversial enough, dozens of the wrong prisoners were released by mistake, and 5 of them apparently still missing. You see, inmates who were jailed for breaching restraining orders were supposed to be excluded from this early release. For obvious reasons, they're potentially some of the ones that you really don't want to let out. They're in there for that reason, but apparently dozens of them were let out by mistake due to their offense being logged incorrectly. Wild. Next. This is the moment a man and his 10-year-old golden retriever were rescued by the Coast Guard after their boat started sinking in Hurricane Helene. That bitch again. The dramatic rescue was caught on video showing Earl and Gunn jumping into the water, both wearing their life jackets and climbing into the rescue basket. Earl had been living with his dog on that boat for the past year, but when it started taking on water, he said to that beloved dog, he really got down, looked it in the eyes and said, "We are not going to die today," as they waited to be rescued, and they didn't. Next. Okay, and for the final rapid fire story, I am currently at war, deep in war with Daily Mail. You see, guys, the tragic day is finally approaching. We can see it on the horizon. The Daily Mail is now less than 1 million followers away from becoming the most followed news account on TikTok. And when they do, they will officially end TikTok's reign as the only major social media platform where a creator is the most followed news source, not mainstream media. The only one left. How can we let
Man, fuck the BBC, bro. Fuck them.
this slip, boys? Now do not worry, the fight is not over, and we've been battling for a good solid week now, and we will continue to battle and fight
If you know, you know. And you take.
valiantly to the future. But with their average of 28 posts a day, I fear we may be out-resourced and outnumbered. And I have insider information that says that their TikTok alone is run by about 12 people. How do we do it? So if we ever have our fight cut out for us, it is now. And with that, I will say my goodbye. Keep fighting, and I will continue to fight into the dying of the light.
W, bro.
Really turning into winter. I'm cold. Gonna wear a jacket. Winter in this garage is gonna be so brutal. If you start to see me, Alex, coming in with my freaking coats on and my scarf and my hat.
Bro, it's even cold in Michigan. Like, it's like October 1st. Of course, it's gonna get colder. Cause like, you know, it like falls up at the top.
We're deep into the winter. And I will continue to fight into the dying of the light. Make sure the light dies. I guess that's it. Woo! Weird ending.